on the
So
spectrum somewhere, aren't we?
no,
I thought that was the case.
no.
I thought the case was everyone.
People end up saying that, but no.
So, okay, what is it then? Dispel the myth.
Well, it's a spectrum. So people with autism are on the spectrum,
Yeah.
but people with autism, so people who don't have autism aren't on the spectrum.
Oh, okay.
People who do have autism are on the spectrum, but you're either, there's a high functioning end,
Yeah.
which doesn't mean that you don't have problems, as I think some people that you meet think you do, because you can come across quite normal seeming to people. So they think,
Yeah.
oh, the high functioning end, that just means that you get loads of benefits and none of the problems. And that's not what it means.
Yeah.
It means that you're perhaps more intelligent, more able to use your intelligence, more able to communicate.
A lot of famous people that have been successful have had Asperger's.
They have, yeah.
Einstein.
But yeah, so the high functioning end is you're able to function
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
The low functioning end is you may well be mute, so you don't talk at all. Some people, even at the high functioning end, could be selectively mute,
Yeah.
so they just don't talk to certain types of people. So they might talk comfortably when they're at home and then be absolutely silent when they're at work, or absolutely silent when they socialise or something, because they don't know what to do or how to say things. Generally, low functioning end, you may have lower IQ, more neurological challenges. So that's what the spectrum is.
Yeah.
But what a lot of public people say is, oh, everyone's on the spectrum.
Right.
Just like people say, oh, everyone's a little bit OCD.
Yeah.
But
so-
anyone who's genuinely got OCD knows that everyone isn't a little bit
Yeah.
OCD. If someone's genuinely got OCD around cleanliness, making one tiny little bit of dirt somewhere will give them a panic attack, even if they're holding it inside themselves and they're not expressing it. They will be panicking and they'll be thinking, I've got to get that clean, it's
Yeah.
got to go.
Yeah.
And they may be sat there thinking socially it wouldn't be appropriate for me to do that, so that's all inside them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's what real OCD is like.
Yeah.
OCD isn't, oh, I like my shelves tidy, or I feel more comfortable when things are tidy.
Which is like me. I don't.
Yeah, that's like
I
you.
like things to be tidy
Yeah.
and organised, to be aesthetically pleasing, and I feel more calm and relaxed in my environment when that's the case. But yeah, not to the point where.
Yeah, so OCD is always
Yeah,
anxiety
yeah,
driven.
yeah.
So I have behaviours that could be seen as OCD behaviours, but none of it is anxiety driven. So something people do around me, which would really annoy me if I was anxiety driven, actual OCD, is I will straighten everything
Yeah.
in my environment. I will straighten cups and things, like if I'm in a restaurant, straighten cups, I'll move things around, get everything exactly how it should be.
Right
And,
angles, everything
yeah,
really neatly
and
lined up.
some people-
Supermarket conveyor belts.
Yeah, supermarket
Even I
conveyor
do that
belts.
now. You line all the food up neatly on the conveyor belts.
Yeah.
It's all very neatly blocked. Almost like a game
But
of
you also
Tetris.
have to make sure that you're lining it up in just the right order so that
Yeah.
everything can be packed. So the bits that go in the bottom of the bag go at the front of the conveyor belt. The bits that go in the top of the bag go at the
Yeah.
back of the conveyor belt.
You always mean you're
And-
not doing it properly.
Yeah. And what annoys me is when the shop person then goes and randomly takes stuff. An item stops the conveyor belt,
Yeah.
and rather than picking the item up and putting it in the bag like they should, they pick 3 or 4 items up because they think, oh, the conveyor belt's stopped now, so I'm going to clear everything and then I'll pick that up last.
Yeah.
And I put it where it was because I want it scanned through in the order I've put it.
Yeah.
So I then have to sit and wait, or stand and wait for them to scan everything, get to the item I'm going to put in the bag next, scan that, and now they have to wait before I pay,
Yeah.
because I'm not going to finish packing my bag until I've packed paying until I've packed my bag. But yeah, what some people do is we could be out for dinner somewhere with people, and they'll mess up my table intentionally. So your sister's one that does that. So do other people.
Shouldn't laugh. It's not
Yeah.
funny.
But they'll mess up the table. They'll move the cutlery, or they'll do something because they'll know I've straightened it all.
Yeah.
Now, to me, everything has an order, and I like the patterns and I like everything in the order, but I don't have any anxiety there. So all I do is I just wait, and
And
when
then
they're bored of it, I put it back to how it should be.
Yeah.
There's no anxiety. Whereas if I had OCD and someone did that, and they knew that, oh, Dan's doing that thing because he's got OCD. OCD is anxiety driven, so there would be a reason I'm doing that. So it could be, if I don't do this, this meal is going to go bad. Or it could be, if I don't do this, someone's going to get ill of food poisoning. Or if I don't do this, there'll be some negative
Yeah.
logical outcome, like, you know, oh, if I don't check the light switch, you know, if I don't check the oven 32 times, I can't guarantee that the oven's off and the house might burn down. Yeah, so real OCD has a negative anxiety back to it, whereas what I do doesn't. So I do have the obsessive behaviours, which are typical for people on the autistic spectrum, but I don't have actual OCD. I don't have the... if someone kept doing that, obviously I would get frustrated if every time I straighten things, but then it's not... I'm not frustrated
You have a
out
thing
of...
with like clicking pens though, you used to anyway.
Yeah. I used to always
Yeah.
click pens.
Yeah.
I've just got a fidget spinner, but that's for a different thing. That's actually to hypnotise people.
Yeah, we're very relating to the craze, I think, in one of these.
Yeah. I don't need a fidget spinner because I would probably always spin it. But I want it for hypnosis.
Yeah.
Because it's... I think... I haven't seen anyone on YouTube yet hypnotise anyone with a fidget spinner. So next weekend I'm sure I'll do that.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So, yeah, I think that's us really, isn't it? Is there anything else
Yeah.
we can...
Well, what do you like doing?
What do I like doing? I like...
Who are you?
Who am I? Was a loaded question. I like writing my blog, abbychic.com. Been doing that for nearly 2 years now. That was just born out of just seeing other people blogging and thinking, hang on a minute, I could have a go at that.
And I was self-employed.
Yes.
I was becoming self-employed.
Yeah.
And you were going to have to occupy yourself. Rather than think, Dan, attention, Dan.
Yes.
So rather than you doing that,
Yeah.
you were going to have to think of something to
well,
do.
I didn't have a hobby, that's the problem.
Yeah.
I haven't had a hobby for most of my life.
No.
I mean, when I was a teenager, I used to write fan fiction, and back then, because you didn't have the internet, you didn't
And
know that
I
was...
hope she does those as some videos. We found some. It's
It's not that bad, it's actually really tame.
yeah, I think they'd be fun to read.
Yeah, they're
They're
very
the
tame
sort of
though,
thing-
compared to some of the things that I see.
Yeah, compared to
some
things that
teenagers
people
right
write nowadays.
Yeah.
But I think they would be fun. They're fun things.
But I never actually finished a story though.
No.
I love writing, but I've
Yeah.
never actually ever finished a story. I've started so many with great passion and gusto, but then I've never actually got around to actually... I get like a few pages in and I'm like lose pace and I just give up. But that's why blogging actually fills that gap really well, because I could have done like 200 odd articles, I don't know what you want to call them, that, posts on my blog, and I've obviously completed them all. So they're much smaller, so I can actually manage that. Maybe one day, you never know. They always say there's an author in a book inside every one, but yeah, I'm happy doing my blog, and that sort of keeps me occupied when you're busy doing your things.
Yeah. And you like shopping?
Yeah.
You like fashion?
I'm not averse to shopping that much. Dan is... He is great companion to go shopping with, but also not a great companion. You're great because you're patient and you will carry the bags, but you can challenge some of my purchases, which for something like spending
Only
money-
normally when you ask.
Yeah. You're very honest though. If I ask your opinion in something, does this look nice on me? What do you think? You're very honest and you will say, no, that was awful. And I know that you're not, you know, I value your opinion. But then sometimes I can get a bit frustrated if I know that you're loitering outside and I just want to browse, and then I know that you're just there. You don't mind waiting outside, but I just feel uncomfortable that you're left standing outside effectively while I'm shopping, and then it puts me off.
But then you know that my view is that's your thing.
Yeah, I know.
That's entirely your thing.
But then
It's-
you've got quite good recently of going to like cafes though, taking a laptop and then sort of thinking, well, I'll occupy
yeah.
myself.
If I know that you're going to be busy for a
Yeah.
long period of time,
Yeah.
like if you're going in Primark,
Yeah.
or I don't know, so in Brighton where the shops are quite big, if you're
Yeah.
going in Primark or H&M or New Look or some shop that's a reasonable size, and I think, oh, you're going to be, or you tell me,
Yeah.
I'm going to be in there for a while, or I'm going in there, and then as soon as I come out, it's
Yeah.
not like I come out and we're done.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to go in the shop next door. If
I'm
I
never
know
quite
that,
finished, even when I come at one shop.
Yeah.
And I think, phew, she's done. I'm like, no, go in that shop now.
and if I know that in advance,
Yeah.
then I'm happier just to go to a cafe, find a little corner somewhere,
Yeah.
sit on my own and chill out.
Yeah, and then I know that you're
Then-
occupied, you're happy, and
yeah.
then I can carry on shopping.
And I can do that for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, it's like shopping. We like going out and about places, don't we? And visiting places. We don't drive, so we tend to just go on day trips in the local area, don't we? We always end up finding somewhere to go and something to do. And we,
and I think we both quite like photography, so we
Yeah.
quite like taking photos of different things.
Yeah.
And seeing the beach in different places or
Yeah.
naturey bits wherever we find it.
Yeah, and we're quite good because you sometimes get nervous about going to new places, don't you? And I sometimes do, but then I can sometimes help sort of alleviate some of that by taking lead and doing that. But then I know that
You're much better at that than me.
Yeah.
Being comfortable with going somewhere new.
If it's somewhere obviously, if it's flying or something like that, then that's not a ball game. But like somewhere like going to another town or something, and I like seeing quite good with directions and geography as well.
And you seem much more comfortable at getting on public transport in a location we don't know.
Yes.
I would rather walk.
Yeah.
Even if it's 3-4 miles, I would rather walk it and know that I'm walking from A to B and I'm just following a map than jump on a bus that could go any route that I don't know because I've never been that route before.
That's the good thing about when we went to Bournemouth though, wasn't it? The really good thing about buses in Bournemouth, they actually have the screen that tells you, and it tells you over the terminal,
it verbally tells you.
Yeah, like a recorded voice tells you this is the next stop, this is the next stop, so you don't. Whereas round here, you used to get the bus, didn't you, to work, and you'd go up and down the same A road every day, twice a day, and yet you never know which part of the A road you're on.
My brain just shuts off and I don't understand where I am. I can't recognise scenery or anything.
I can close my eyes and literally envisage the whole route in my mind and be correct.
And then that does cause me extreme anxiety.
Yeah. Because you get quite stressed and quite stroppy and snappy, and then it makes me feel quite stressed and irritable.
I need absolute silence and just focus with no distractions of any kind.
Yeah.
If things get sensorily sort of overwhelming, or I suddenly feel totally lost, or suddenly hit a place where everything's so uncertain, I don't know where I am, whether I'm coming or going. Like get on a bus. If I get on a bus and I don't know where to press the bell to get off, then I will panic and think, how do I judge? How do I know where to get off? I don't know. Where's the certainty? I don't have a press it when you pass this lamp post kind of, For journeys like the one you just mentioned, to and from work that I used to make, I would have when I pass this point, press that bell.
You had a routine.
And I would look for that exact marker, and I would stare out the window and I would wait and wait and wait, and as soon as I see that marker, I press the bell.
Yeah.
And then know that a couple of minutes later or a minute later, the bus is going to stop. But if I'm on a bus I don't know, I don't know where.
I would be a bit. I think anyone would be though, because you'd be like, well, where do I get off? Because unless you have a bus that tells you, how do you know? But yeah, I suppose it's more on the regular thing though. You get that though, even if you've been on the road several times. You still,
well, I still get that going to your mum's.
Yeah.
That I still have no idea where to press the button, and yet I've been there.
Yeah, well, I always tend to
dozens and dozens and dozens of times.
I used to get the bus all the time that way, and I'd press the bell, any random point. One day I might press it like a couple minutes beforehand, one minute press it the second beforehand, but I'm familiar with the route, so I knew.
Yeah, whereas I should be familiar with the route, and yet I still struggle. So I think we complement each other there. That you get very anxious over things that I think you would see as big things.
Yeah, you get.
And I get very anxious over things that you would see as little things.
Yeah. So we can help each other out.
So I'd get anxious going into a shop that turns out to be really crowded.
Yeah.
Or a shop that I'm in that's too long. Yeah. So I end up bumping into people, or I end up feeling like I'm in the way of everyone, and I can't judge who's walking from where and whose bum is going to suddenly bend over and smash me off.
Yeah.
I then get really stressed doing all that and have to just stand outside the shop, and I always wish that the camera was on me when I was like that, so that people could see what it's really like, because people that know me know that I'm generally reasonably calm.
Yeah, when I first met you, you were like the most chilled out, calm, zen-like person I knew.
Technology and stuff has ruined all that.
Yeah.
I was calm back when you met me, when there was no technology like there is today.
Yeah, that's
when there was
true.
no mobile phone. A mobile phone was a thing you made a phone call on.
Or a text message, that was it. Or played
They
Snake.
had just come in. Text messages had just come in.
Oh, jeez.
About a year before I met you, my phone had a single line screen.
Yeah, I had a phone
where
like that.
all you had, like Sony Ericsson or something, where all you had was you could enter the telephone
like
number.
a
You couldn't send
calculator
text.
screen, wasn't
You
it?
couldn't send texts.
No.
If I wanted to send a text, I used to have to go to a payphone, phone up a pager number,
What?
and tell the operator a message that they would then page to Graham or whoever, and then Graham would receive on his pager, and I had a pager as well, he would receive on his pager a message from me, who's also in Bognor or whatever.
Did you not use landline telephones?
You didn't always have landlines.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have a landline. back in those
I
days.
suppose back in those days you didn't
So
know.
I had no landline. So so if you wanted to actually send a physical, just text type message, you used pagers, and then it had to be a certain number of characters. So you couldn't go to the payphone and just ramble.
Yeah.
You had to go to the payphone and actually say
And payphones. We're going to payphones.
Yeah.
Them the
payphone
days.
with your 10p or 30p or whatever.
Yeah.
You'd go to the payphone and you'd have to actually say the right number of characters. So you'd have to have
Oh, that just
pre-planned
sounds
it.
tedious.
And so you'd walk to a payphone, you'd walk home from a payphone, and then you'd wait looking at your pager for when they go to a payphone,
Yeah.
having received their
Oh,
message,
jeez.
to walk back, to go to the payphone to do the same. And it is
Yeah.
really tedious. It's so easy nowadays.
Yeah.
But technology makes me incredibly stressed. Computers not doing what they're
when
supposed
when
to.
things don't work the way you want to, it's work
Yeah,
straight
I
away.
expect
simply,
everything just to
you get
work
stressed.
smoothly, and
Yeah.
life was like that. When I met you,
Yeah.
that is what life was like.
Yeah.
In
A
2001.
pen and paper worked fine.
Yes,
Never really had a problem
2001.
with pen and
Every
paper.
document I ever recorded in work was pen and paper. We didn't use computers in work
No.
to record all our logs. We'd write probably about 40 or 50 A4 sheets of paper by hand every shift, because you'd have to write up incidents that the kids have done and everything.
Yeah.
But you do it all by hand, all fine. It worked. Pen worked on paper. If the pen didn't work, you picked up another pen and carried on.
Yeah, yeah.
And there was no problem. It didn't crash. It didn't break on you.
No.
There was no issue. So in work, no stress. The landlines, which is all used in work, again, you pick up the thing, you type a number, it phones or it doesn't phone.
Fax machines.
Fax machines were a nightmare. I never used them. I let other colleagues use them.
Yeah.
I'd always
I
say,
used to use a fax machine in my first job.
Yeah.
Literally, that was like internet didn't. This was like the early 2000s, or
Yeah.
mid 2000s, and even then they were using a fax
Hmm.
machine. Emails didn't exist, non-existent. Crazy, and that wasn't that long ago, really.
yeah. But yeah, so I refused to use the fax machine.
Yeah.
I couldn't. It scared me using the fax machine.
Yeah.
So I would always get other staff to do that.
Yeah.
The idea of somehow doing the faxing thing terrified me. Just like when I first had to do emails and things like that, that terrified me. And even now I don't really like it. But technology makes me incredibly stressed. It doesn't work effectively. Cameras run out of battery or memory
Break.
or break. Phones,
Internet doesn't work.
internet doesn't work.
Computer-
Internet suddenly runs really slow.
does updates.
Yeah, it doesn't update
restarts
exactly when
itself.
you urgently need to do something, and it will do
Yeah.
an update instead.
Yeah.
It will turn itself off right in the middle of you doing, or in my case, turn itself off right in the middle of me processing a video or something.
Yeah.
So I have to start from the beginning again. So yeah, so I feel that deep down I'm still the same calm person
Yeah,
who
yeah.
you met, sat
Still-
on the beach.
Yeah, who love to talk about.
Yeah.
I love dolphins.
Yeah,
I love
exactly.
The
I'm
beach,
still
I
the
love
same
the
person.
countryside.
And
Yeah.
when that is my world,
Yeah.
I am incredibly calm.
I always say that Dan would be his happiest in a treehouse in the middle of the woods, in the middle of nowhere. And
Yeah.
we often joke when we see someone like that, we're always like, Dan, there's your home.
Yeah.
When you're moving in.